You ever been in a car accident?
Yeah.
So inside the box here, it's a bright silver My Dash Cam. Nice box. Let's open that up here. Inside we've got, hello, I am my ex. Here's the actual camera. Please remove before you take this off. There you go. See the LCD screen there, power port. This is for the actual adjustment. So when this is connected to the windshield, you still have the ability to adjust the angle and tilt. I really like that. That's nice to have that adjustment. It's really, really stiff. Take the little lens cap off there. Decent sized lens. You got a nice big speaker down here on the bottom of it. Got a power button and then an up and down arrow button right there. That's the extent of the actual buttons on the device. Looks like you probably have a little microphone right there. This is going to be the accessory port or cigarette lighter port, the 70 Mi right there, and then another USB port there. So you do get to retain use of a USB power port. We've also got a lot of cable in here. This is going to be the USB-C power. So this is going to be a USB-C to USB-A for the powering of this if you're just going to use your cigarette lighter. And this, oh, that's nice. They do include a little pry tool here. This is to hide the wires in between your trim. You do have an instruction manual here, fairly small but very readable. And then something else that's optional is the hardware kit. So this is the 70 Mi hardware kit, and this is to hardwire the dash cam into your car. This is the non-4G hardware kit. So this is non-cellular, it's just a straight hardware kit. Allow you to plug power into the 70 Mi camera. So your yellow, black, and red wires into either your fuse box or into the accessory line in your vehicle. Depending on your vehicle, you'll have to consult your own vehicle manual to know where to connect this into. Or this also gives you additional features like parking monitoring and such. When your car is off, you can have additional options because then you can actually wire this up to be constant power. All right, let's get into installing this into this Audi. I'm going to put it here just to the left of the rear view mirror. You can play around with it, but I do kind of recommend that you eyeball where you want to place it, and then I use the electrostatic piece of plastic first, which will make it a lot easier to remove it if I ever want to remove it from the windshield itself. Got it installed, use the hinge there to get it properly leveled and aligned, and then plugged in the USB-C cable to the right side of the camera itself. You can then plug in the other end of the USB cable into the included accessory port or cigarette lighter socket and turn the car on. And as soon as you turn the car on, the camera will power on automatically. It will boot up, make this fun little chiming noise, go 360 degrees around to calibrate the camera.
Please connect your app to activate the dash cam.
Once you download and install the app, then you can have it search for it. It should find it right away, or you can select it from the list of included cameras. Once it connects, then you're going to activate the camera itself. It'll authorize it. It'll start connecting to it. This was all very automated, very smooth, just worked. And then a cool animation, which I just thought was kind of neat that they went to all this work to include this animation built right into the app when you first install it. I haven't seen it since, but the first time you activate the camera, you click the start button and then it will go into the device itself. From here, you can change settings, but if you connect directly to it via the hotspot, it'll ask you if you want to join the hotspot. You click join, and then now you're directly connected to the camera itself. And the first time that you do that, it is going to ask if you want to go through the beginner's tutorial. I do recommend that. It has you set up the language, and then it gives you this visual guide on how to install the camera. Now, you could certainly plug in the camera before you install it, and then you'd actually make use of this installation guide. I saw this after I'd already installed the camera because I just followed the instruction manual that was included in the box. Either way, they have great instructions on how to install the camera on your windshield. This next section actually helps you calibrate the camera left to right and up and down just to make sure that the full view of what you want is in the frame. So not too much hood, not too much to the right, not much to the left. This basically determines your center because this camera does move around 360 degrees. So every time it's going to return back to this position. I kind of got stuck here for a little bit because I had fun just rotating the camera left and right, back and forth. But the main purpose of this is just to calibrate and center your camera. If you did not install the hardware kit yet for parking surveillance, then you're going to get this warning here that those features aren't going to be available. I will demonstrate those for you here in just a little bit, but it also lets you know what all the voice commands are, and I had a lot of fun using those voice commands. Inside of the settings of the camera itself, you can change a lot of different features, including the resolution, the frame rate. You can set that to 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second. You can also turn on or off the HDR. However, HDR is only available in the 30 frames per second, not in 60 frames per second. So you have to choose which one of that. But you can choose the clip duration if you want the 70mm logo and other information to be embedded into the footage itself. Among other things, you can also select the speed unit if you want kilometers per hour, miles per hour, and the date format. This varies depending on what region of the world you're in, so I updated that to my standard date format. And so just go through there and figure out which ones you want to change. I did then notice that there was an update available for the 70mm Omni Dash Cam. So I went ahead and initiated that update to the latest firmware. This process was very smooth. I simply downloaded the newest firmware. It went extremely quickly to my phone, and then from there, I had to connect back to the camera and push it to the 70mm Omni Dash Cam.
Upgrade package received. Start recording a video. Upgrading. Do not disconnect from power source. Upgrading succeeded.
And now it was time to get this dash cam out on the road. It's actually quite discreet. I was kind of afraid that it'd be a little clunky there in the windshield, but it didn't really obstruct any of my view, and it functioned flawlessly right out of the box. As you can see here, that's actual images directly out of the camera itself. They do have all these little cute little animations. When you first start driving, there is a live view video feed on the back of the camera, but once you get driving, it switches to the little cute MyX animation there on the back, probably just to not distract the driver and looking at that video feed. But it then switches back to the video feed depending on the voice command that you give it or emergency video commands that you might give it. But it's a really sleek looking camera itself, very sharp from the inside and from the outside. And I like how it kind of just blends away into the decor of the vehicle itself. Now here's a demonstration of the audio quality of the microphones that are built right into the camera. This is the audio quality from the 70mm Omni Dash Cam. Audio quality directly from the 70mm Omni Dash Cam. Shoot left. Shoot inside. Shoot left. Now that we got some money in the bank, let's take a look at some of the visual quality of this camera. The color contrasts are really good. This is actually a pretty difficult shot there with going directly into the sun, so I'm impressed with the HDR quality of this camera. I think they really hit a sweet spot with going with just an HD camera instead of a 4K camera, because the 4K camera, the pixel density might have messed with the overall low light that you see in here and the HDR qualities. Now, apart from this windshield being a little bit dirty, it's really good visual quality on these recordings at night. And as you can see, I'm driving not in a very well lit downtown area as you see a lot of the demos showing. This is more of a rural area. You've got some street lights at the intersections where there's a major stoplight, but for the most part, this is driving in very, very dark settings. Linus Tech Tips actually did a recent video where he was showcasing a lot of different dash cams, showing how they really innovate or change very much. And he really featured a lot of the night vision of the cameras and how poor the quality actually was. And based on my experience, this 70mm Omni Dash Cam really steps up to the plate when it comes to the color night vision quality of the recording. I mean, just look at the color contrast and clarity of this when we're parking in front of one of our favorite restaurants here in Tucson at Piazza Gavi. Shoot left. However, one place I did notice the color clarity and quality suffered is when it pointed to the left or the right and there was no headlights. It's still good, but as you can see in this selfie photo here, when there are no headlights, you do get a fairly noisy selfie. But photos taken straight forward with the headlights are superb, especially with motion. So overall, having a lot of fun with this camera. It's awesome having it in the dash, being able to turn it around for a quick fun selfie, video, or photo. I just am really impressed with this. I've used several different dash cams over the years, and this one has just been user-friendly and very high quality. While I have not actually tested it or experienced it, based on the specs, that the collision detection on this is super intelligent, including having 5 seconds prior to the accident. So it automatically saves 5 seconds prior to the impact or incident detection and saves that automatically with the incident clip. And when it came to actually transferring the photos out of the camera itself, very simple to do with the app. You simply connect to the camera itself. It does stop recording, of course, when you're connected to it here, but they have a really cool scrubbable timeline that you can just scrub right through the timeline to find the actual clips that you want. They also have a really cool color coding for whether it's just the general loop recording, the emergency recording, parking surveillance, time-lapse recording, or vlog. So you can quickly see visually what type of recording is in the timeline. It does not have a removable micro SD card, but rather just built-in storage. So the 32 gigs that are built into it is what you're going to get. And if you do the highest quality, it's going to be about 512 megabytes minute of recording, which will get you about 3 hours of constant looping recorded, which I think is sufficient.
Shoot left.
It does save individual files for any of the emergency videos or incident recordings, but you can also go through the timeline and choose to save from 10 seconds all the way up to 30 minutes of a certain section. From the part where your cursor is 3 minutes ahead, you can say, make me a custom video basically, and it will create that and download that directly to your phone. You can also view all of the video or photos on the camera based on category. So you can look up just photographs and then select those photographs, download those individually to your phone if you want to, or go into the videos, whether it's an emergency video or an event video. You can even overlay some cool graphics with your miles per hour or kilometers per hour and GPS coordinates. And you can select multiple videos or photos at one time to download straight to your mobile device. This went fairly quickly when downloading it, but if you're transferring a lot of these at the highest resolution, it is going to take a little bit of time. It also has ADAS warning and prompts built right into it, so it can alert you if there is a car in front of you, if there's a pedestrian, if you're departing your lane. There's a lot of cool safety features built right into it. Also, the parking lot surveillance mode will use AI to intelligently detect whether or not a human is too close and start saving that footage as well. So all in all, I would recommend the 70 My Dash Cam. It again looks really good from the inside and the outside, and it's just a camera that I'm gonna really enjoy having inside of our vehicle, not only for safety reasons, but just to have it in case of that incident that we need proof for.
What happened, Danny?
Car accident.